Hey Church Home Youth, happy December. I'm so excited to be sharing with you today as we go into a month full of questions that come up around Christmas time. I don't know about you guys, but I love Christmas time. I love going and decorating my tree, getting the tree with the family, decorating cookies. There's so many amazing things that happen in this holiday season.
I'll take this little tree home and decorate it.
But there's also times, and I don't know if you feel this way, but sometimes Christmas can feel a little lonely. Sometimes we're going through a little bit of loss, or it's a remembrance of things that have happened in past years. And so if you're feeling that way, if you're having those emotions, if you're feeling like, I actually am not really enjoying Christmas season, I actually don't even know the point of it, why are we doing all of this?
Whose holiday are we celebrating?
So excited because these questions are so normal. We all experience them. Sometimes you look around and you're like, I don't fully understand what we're celebrating. If you're a Jesus follower, I'm sure you know, like, we're celebrating the birth of Jesus, but there are still questions that come alongside that. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I have moments where I'm wondering where God really is. Where can I actually find God?
Where are you?
And if you've had those questions before and have felt like, is it okay to have those questions? Am I allowed to ask those? Let me just first and foremost say it is totally okay. What we're going to read today in the Bible is actually about these men who have similar questions. They're wondering, where can we find this king? Where can we find God? In Matthew 2, we see a story about this group of men. They're called the wise men. They're brilliant scholars. They're so well respected, and they are on their search to find the king, to find the savior of the world. And so they know that they are going to follow this star. It says in Matthew 2, it says, we observed a star in the eastern sky that signaled the king's birth. So they follow this star and it leads them to Jerusalem. Now, Jerusalem is like the culture hub. It is the place where all the influences are. It would make sense for this king, the savior of the world, to be there. And then they show up there and the star dwindles and the king isn't there. But there is King Herod, who is the king of the Jews at the time. And so they go to King Herod and they're like, hey, where is the king, the savior of the world?
Where's the king?
And even King Herod has no idea. He's actually not sure where this king is. And so if you can only imagine being these men, they have traveled so far. They've followed this star. They're so excited just to get to where they thought Jesus was going to be, where this king was going to be, and he's not there. I don't know about you, but I have definitely had moments in my life where I'm excited about what God is doing. I feel like I'm going the right path. I'm going the direction He tells me to go. I feel like just pumped about what's going on. And then my excitement starts to dwindle. It kind of feels like I actually don't know if I'm going in the right place. I actually don't know if this is where God is. And you find yourself confused. You find yourself a little defeated. These men feel a little defeated. Wait, this is exactly where we thought God would be. This is exactly where we thought the king would be, yet he's not here. So where do we go from here? What do we do now? And if you're in a place like that and you are not sure where God is, I'm excited as we get into this next part. First of all, for you to know you're not alone, because these men felt the same way, but they end up finding this king. And it's amazing because they're told, go to Bethlehem, and there is going to be a star that is going to show you the path. So they start going to Bethlehem. This star, that same star that was showing them before, that ended up dwindling, comes back and leads them to a place where the king is. It's a place that's unexpected and very unlikely. They did not see it coming. Now, Bethlehem is like a lowly place. You wouldn't expect to find a king there. And so they were definitely a little surprised. And I think that's one thing to say about Jesus and who he is that he's often not where you would expect him to be. He's often in those places that you wouldn't expect him to go. We all in our lives, and I know speaking for myself, have had those moments wondering where God is. And if you've ever thought, maybe I'm less of a believer, maybe I don't love Jesus as much as I thought, know that it's okay to have those questions, that God isn't afraid of our questions. He's not afraid of us asking, where is he? He will reveal himself to us. And so I want to encourage you, honestly, ask those questions. Ask God where he is. Tell him, God, it's hard down here. I have no idea what to do. I don't know how to do this situation. I don't know how to talk to my friend who's hurt me. I don't know where to go, and where are you? He will show you. And so as we go to these wise men and they show up in this place, we will pick that up in Matthew 2, 10 through 11. And it says this, it says, "So the star appeared again, that same star they saw in the eastern skies. It led them until it hovered over the place of the child, over the king. They could hardly contain themselves. They were in the right place. They arrived at the right time. They entered the house and saw a child in the arms of Mary, his mother. Overcome, they kneeled and worshipped him. Then they opened their luggage and presented gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh." So they end up in this home in Bethlehem. They have the stepfather, Joseph, and then they have Mary, who's a teenage mother, and then a toddler, who is the king. And they bow down and worship this king. And in a place that they didn't expect him to be, they find him. And I think in this season, I'm believing that Jesus is going to show up in ways that you wouldn't expect. Maybe in those places that you never thought he would be. I know for my life, Jesus has showed up where I did not think he would be. I'm like, he doesn't want to be a part of these harder situations in my life. He's not going to want to be involved in the lowly places, but he is. He wants to be there. He's actually already there. He's the already available king. And that's what I want to encourage you with, is when we see this story, we see Bethlehem as this place of unexpected. You wouldn't really think, it's kind of out of the way. Why would Jesus be there? Why would this king be there? And then you show up and he's right there. He's already available. And when you look at Jerusalem, and these wise men expect Jesus to be in Jerusalem, it makes sense. It's like the culture hub. It's exciting. It's where a king would be. And I don't know if you kind of make this comparison, but I kind of think about when it comes to looking for God, looking for this king, we think we just have to go to this church building. We have to go to a group. We have to go somewhere where God obviously is. But did you know, and I have really good news for you, that Jesus, he can show up in your living room. He can show up in the shower, on your drive to school, in your classroom. He is everywhere. He's already available. You don't need to go and search for him, but he's actually already with you.
Man, Jesus is everywhere.
I'm believing in this Christmas season that you're going to experience Jesus in places that you never thought he would actually be. Invite him in to those darker areas of your life. Invite him in. He is there. He's available. He wants to walk with you. You don't have to be lonely this Christmas. You don't have to do things on your own. You don't have to have these questions and then not have them answered or feel like you can't bring them to him. God is with you. He's available, and he wants to be a part of this season of your life. We love you so much, Church Home Youth. We'll see you next week.